Hello everyone, so before the video starts, I actually set up a poll for the top 10 most popular characters that came out year 3 of BBS, and it's linked in the description below, so if you want to pause this right now, go vote for your favorite character that came out in the last year, and then I'll put that top 10 out later this week, or I guess right before the Step Ups comes out, because I want to do it before the new anniversary characters and everything else. So if you want to go ahead and vote either now or at the end of the video, up to you. Just vote on your favorite character. It could be for whatever reason, just whatever you like, and I'll have that top 10 video out soon. So once again, thank you for watching, and enjoy. What's going on, everyone? So we're about a week away from Step Ups. I think, yeah, next Tuesday is when it is. And so I figured I'd go ahead and do what I did last year and do kind of a do's and don'ts for Step Ups. I'm sure Caleb will never see this, but you know, it's my way of sharing my opinions of what characters should and should not be in Step Ups. Some of them you will see the gameplay, and some of them I'll just kind of glance over and talk about them, but let's go ahead and begin. So the first character that we absolutely need in Step Ups, either round 1 or round 2, preferably in round 1, is the power version of Aizen, the newest Aizen that came out. Well, not the newest is Parasol one, but the power version of Aizen is something that everybody just needs. So many people have poured a bunch of orbs trying to get this character whenever he's out in banners. He hasn't been a filler since he came out, and so we desperately need him. They are saying that they're going to do another Senkaimon, a different type of Senkaimon. I don't know if that necessarily means that it will be just for the 4th anniversary, or if it means they're going to be like, oh, it's going to switch out from Tower of Forging to this new thing. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, they're going to go back and forth with the Tower of Forging, and then this new one, or not. But either way, this Aizen would be great to be able to complete the Tower of Ordeals. Now, I was gonna put this guy later on the list, but Zangetsu has just been so common lately, and we got a lot of characters that are fairly common, but this guy's old. He's like almost like 2 years old at this point, and yeah, he's decent. His attack is good, his boosted stats, booster, and a healer. But 1, he's super common. Everybody has him. They can just stop. And 2, he's not fast. He does a lot of damage, he has the potential to deal a lot of damage, but he's not quick. His normal attack isn't piercing, doesn't have the best range. It's just, stop. Just stop. Please, no more Zangetsu. And I think he was recently a filler in one of the Can't Fear Your Own World stuff, where some of us pulled him, but it's just, we've got to stop with this character. He was good back in the day, now not so much. He's just got to stop. Now, I figured I'd go ahead and put this character in there, the Soifon. I know this character is also fairly old. Unlike Zangetsu, though, she hasn't been a filler as much. She has been a filler from time to time, but the reason I'm putting her in here is because even though she's old, she's still a very useful character. She's kind of a staple to have, because she's good in Guild Quest. She's a very quick character, very good for just like taking out boss rooms, because she's able to. She has a boosted strong attack recharge link, she's got poison on everything, really fast character, and I think that's the reason I put her on this list, is because, yeah, she's old, but she's still very relevant, she's still very good, she hasn't been as common as some of the other characters, so I think it'd be nice to see her in the Step Ups, if they have to put some older characters. Usually during round 1, they put characters from this year, but round 2, they kind of stretch out for a little bit of the older characters, so I think it would be good to kind of see her. A character that I wouldn't want to see, though, and I know this character is even older, is Tag Team Rangiku. Because, 1, they didn't give us more Rangikus. But 2, she keeps popping up. And you're like, oh, this character's so old, they can't possibly do it. But they did it last year. She was a filler on the manga round 4 for Step Ups round 2. That sounds really weird to say, but she was in that filler. And I guess they put her in there because she was a boosted link for Yoroichi. But no more. Just, she's not good. And she does have the potential to become good when she gets resurrected. And I guess that would be the one good thing of getting her in this would be, oh, hey, you know, her resurrection I think is coming up soon. I think it should be here before the end of the year. So she may actually be good because of her double killer. But right now she's just not. And it's still such a length away that it's not a viable thing to put her as a filler for one of the Step Ups. So just don't give us this character, please. It's just, stop. It's so old. That's the only reason I put her in this one, is because she was so common, and they did it last year, which was amazing because she was over 2 years old at that point. But yeah, no more Tag Team Rangikus, please. I would, however, like to see Shinji, the new blue Shinji. I guess that's not the newest Shinji, because the newest Shinji is the past Shinji, which I would also like to see. But I kind of wanted to see the blue one, just because having another hollow affiliation, having any character with hollow affiliation is nice at this point. It's because it gives us option for Senkaimon, and we're getting a new one, so maybe a blue hollow won't be required for that. But either way, having any attribute of hollow affiliation is going to be good for that. So I think he hasn't been a filler that much. I think he's been a filler once since he came out, and he came out this year. He's still fairly new. Confusion isn't great, but he's got high SP, soul reaper killer, damage reduction. He's a good character. He's a good character, and I would like to see him in the as a filler in this step ups. Now I'm kind of pulling from old characters again. I don't want to for the fillers, but some of the older characters is kind of a have to. Because they're so common, and one of them is Tag Team Ichigo, who is really good, don't get me wrong. This character is great. His Vortex is really useful for Guild Quest, it's really long duration, he's great for autoing, double killer, frenzy. He's a fantastic character, but he's so common. Like, he's ridiculously common at this point. He didn't come out last year, he came out the year before, so he's 2 years old at this point, and he still holds up incredibly well, but because he's 2 years old, most people have him at this point. Yeah, there are some people that are not going to have him, but we don't need him as a filler because he's so common. And another thing is that because he's an Ichigo and he's got the Getsuga Tensho, every now and then they do the whole free summons for anyone who knows Getsuga Tensho, or just free summons for Ichigo, or like one a day. And so he's in there, so he's fairly common for that reason. I believe that's how I pulled him on my global, is from that free summon. So please, he's good, but no more Tag Team Ichigo. Alright, next we got Chad. A character I do want to see, because like some of the other characters I've already mentioned, he hasn't been a filler. I don't think he's been a filler in a single one, kind of like Aizen. They came out around the same time, I think. But he is a good character. He's still good PvP, he's good for autoing. I think now that Retsu is kind of got defeated by Noitora for PvP, we're gonna need some other characters that kind of help out. Granted, Chad can't compete with Noitora, but he's kind of like on that level of, you know, if you have him on your team, it's good. He's a boost. He can paralyze. He'll be a good character to have. He's not a captain. He's a human, so there's not a lot of killer options there. There's no options for killers of PvP, so he would definitely be a good character for people to have for PvP, and I think they're gonna put him in there. I hope they put him in there because people need that option. Plus, with the new quest that they're doing right now with the Chronicles, whatever it's called, it's gonna be nice to have not only this Chad, but also the Ichigo, the Uryu, and I didn't want to put them all on this list because this video would be way too long. But I'm also, with this Chad, I'm also including the whole Fullbring Ichigo, the Shikai Ichigo, the Uryu, the Orihime, and the no, that's it. just those 4 characters, because they'd be really useful for people to have, to be able to collect those fragments a little easier. And they're fairly new characters, so it's not out of the question to include them. That Fullbring Ichigo, kind of, just because he was a filler recently, I think, but it still wouldn't be out of the question to include him. But yeah. Alright, kind of like the last with Chad, I'm also going to include, for the don'ts, I'm going to include Tsukishima and the rest of the humans. It's not that they're not good. Some of them aren't great, you know, but most of them are good. It's just that, I don't know, I think with fillers and step-ups, if we're gonna go throw in our orbs, and this is one of those characters that is still good, and it's kind of on here because it's better not to get him and get something useful, if that makes sense. Like, I would much rather have Soifon, who's a much older character, than this guy, because Soifon's still useful. Even though this guy's good, Tsukishima's good, granted not the best killer, but I'm also throwing in Ginjo, Jackie, and Yukio, and all, Riruka as well. They're not, I mean, they're good characters, but they're not exactly super useful. Maybe they'll be required for some of the new Senkaimon stuff. Maybe they'll have like a mind character with a no affiliation killer, which would, you know, fill the slot for Tsukishima. But right now, we don't really need them. They're not really in high demand. And, you know, they could be doing stuff with the humans later, and so we kind of get that way. But we don't really need Tsukishima. We don't really need the humans right now, unless it's Chad or, you know, just Chad, basically. Alright, kind of like Chad, I'm also including Kenny, the new Kenny on there, the red Kenny, because Pretty much the same reason. Just copy and paste the explanation from Chad and add it to Kenny, because we need more viable, people need more viable options for PvP. I already have some of these characters that I'm listing. It's not my personal my personal request. Some of them I don't have, like the Aizen and the Shinji, but the rest of them I do. So it's not my personal request, but I do think that people need an option to get this Kenny. I was lucky enough to get him from a BBS ticket and also from multiple orbs when he came out on my separate accounts, but a lot of people weren't. So I think it'd be a good idea for Caleb to include an option that wasn't, you know, Retsu is kind of, you can't really get her that easily, but Chad and this Kenny you can, or a little easier. So I think it's a good idea to include him in it. I don't remember if he was in the step-ups last time, because I don't remember exactly when he came out, but I think it's a good idea to add him again, just to give people another option for PvP. Alright, I'm including Stark in this because Stark is very common. That literally is why. He came out around the same time as Zayalopor. I don't think it was in the same banner. No, it wasn't the same banner. But he came out like a month earlier, or a month before that, if even that. And he's common at this point. I pull him all the time. He's a filler all the time. Yeah, he's a good character. He's a fast attacker. He's got a good attack, good bruiser. But enough. It's enough. I also don't think I'm including him in this, but I don't necessarily think he will be a filler. I'm really hoping he's not, because oh man, we've seen so much of him. But I don't think he will be, because I think there's a strong chance that one of the rounds is going to be a camp for your own world thing, and I think Stark and Halibel are going to be in it. Don't have any proof to back that up. I just have a feeling that's what's going to be in it, so I don't think we're going to see this Stark, but I really hope, you know, I really hope we don't. There's a chance we will. I hope we don't. We're just gonna have to leave it up to them. All right, I'm including the newest version of Retsu, the past version of Retsu, and in this I'm also kind of throwing in that Shinji, the past version of Shinji, and as well as all the past characters. I'm kind of bundling him into this one. I'm only gonna show you Retsu because I'm only mainly gonna talk about her, but I'm including all the past characters, including Yoruichi, Kisuke, Shuei, and Jushiro, as well as Shinji. Because they're fairly new, you know, they're fairly new, so it would be nice to see them again. Enough time has passed that if they include them in there, it's not going to be super weird. If they include, well, I'll get to that in a bit. But I think enough time has passed that it won't be weird if we see them again. But I think the reason I want them in there is because they're actually good. Her and Shinji specifically are really good for autoing, and I think people need that option. Especially now, stuff is getting harder, you know, but she's kind of slow at it, but she's still really, really good for autoing. She's really reliable, and I think people need that. Plus, she's got the plus 80 bruiser, and I'm sure we're going to see that again in one of the rounds for step-ups, either round 1 or round 2, or both. And I would really like to have a character, you know, options with plus 80 bruisers, or even really high options for bruisers in the step-ups. It would also really feel like an event if they included newer characters. I'm also not gonna. I mean, I would also like to see the newest iteration of Tensa Zangetsu, as well as the newest iteration of White Ichigo. I'm not gonna put him on this list just because it's very, very unlikely they'll do that, since they came out. Like, I think they were the last premium thing to come out. I think I could be wrong about that, but I don't think we'll see them. But I would also like to see especially that White Ichigo, because that White Ichigo would really, if we can't get the Aizen, the Ichigo would be nice. The White Ichigo would be nice, because it's a viable option as well. So, yeah, I'll throw his footage in there as well. Alright, I'm including White Zangetsu in this. It's really weird. He's the only one that wasn't in, I think he's the only one on this list that was on the other side last year. When I did this video last year, White Zangetsu was one of my do includes last year. But since then, he's been a filler so much. In fact, I was actually going to record this yesterday, because just yesterday I pulled him again from a BBS ticket. He just kind of, I summoned and it was him. I've gotten him so many times, I'm sure other people have as well. I've got him mostly from fillers, just because he's been in fillers recently. He's also kind of like that Tag Team Ichigo. He's also on that Getsuga summons, or anytime there's a free, like, oh, once a day single, he's in it. Don't get me wrong, he's a phenomenal character. He's like my third favorite character in this game. but he's so common at this point that we just, I would like something a little harder to get for step-ups, just because I think I have him like at 4 out of 5 in one account, and actually another out of 5 in another account. I don't really know the numbers, but he's really good for autoing, but he's so common, and I don't think it'd be good for us to see him. I think he's actually been into step-ups before. He's definitely, I think he was definitely in last year's, but we've seen him before in step-ups, I think, because we've had a few step-ups since he's came out. But yeah, I just don't think we should see him again. Alright, and the last one I'm going to be talking about is actually last year's anniversary character, the 3rd anniversary Okie Ora. I know a lot of people complain about his killer. I get it. No affiliation killer, you know, it's not as useful as you might think. It's not the worst killer out there. It's definitely better than Human, for sure. And better than Captain and the Espada killer. So it's kind of, you know, it's becoming a bit more common, I think. Which I like that it's becoming a bit more common. Who knows, we might get a bit more story where no affiliation comes out and we'll get more events. But I think he's a good character. He's a great character. PvE, co-op, even PvP, he's a viable option. He's just kind of good at everything. He's got poise, he's got shield moves, boost moves, weakening on everything. It's not debilitating, but what are you going to do? He's just a phenomenal character, and I think it would be really cool to bring in the anniversary character from last year in these step-ups this year. Who knows, maybe, you know, round 1 could have both him and anniversary Ichigo, who's also pretty good. And even that Quincy Ichigo that came out for New Year's wouldn't be a bad option. He hasn't been a filler either. He's in premium, so he's able to do it. And I think it would be kind of a good, I don't know, callback to themselves of like, oh hey, look, this is what we've done over the years. These are our original characters over the years. And I think it wouldn't be a bad option because a lot of people still don't have him, and a lot of people still try to pull him whenever he comes out in filler. So I think it'd be a good option. But yeah, there you have it. These are my list for do's and don'ts for this year. I think there's a lot of good characters to get. If they pull from the characters that we've gotten just this past year, we'll be good. Some of the tag team characters are a little more common. I got like 7 tag team Yamas. I wouldn't like to see him, but I know a lot of people don't have him. He's a really good character, so if they put him in there, I'd actually understand. But in this, I think he actually came out a little bit before. Actually, a few months before last year's step-ups. But between last year's step-ups and this year's step-ups, we've had a lot of good characters. And I hope we get to see, you know, some good stuff. And nothing like the Tag Team Rangiku or anything that's too old. Unless it's really useful, like that Soy Fun. Who, again, I have, but a lot of people don't. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I recorded this on the 16th. I'll probably post it tomorrow. Because it's too late to edit anything. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Good luck on step-ups. Let me know what you guys want to see in it. I'm actually curious what you guys want to see in it, because I'm doing this from my perspective. There's some characters that, you know, maybe I mentioned Tag Team Ichigo, and you've been after that character for a long time, and maybe you do want him. So, you know, let me know. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good one. Take care.